Hello, everybody. Today's day two. I'm so excited because it's so different than day one, but we're going to let everybody come in. I've already got us streaming to the Facebook group, so we should be good to go there. I am going to double check that. Yep, we are live. Let me know how you're feeling after day one. How do you feel with
Oh,
the strategy that we covered? How do you feel
so I
after
haven't been
marinating
on Facebook
that a
in
little bit? I'm gonna make sure we're all muted and we're recording. Okay, so if you missed day one, it's already in the Facebook group on the replay. You guys will have lifetime access to that. You can watch it as many times as you want. If you have to dip out for day two, same thing. You'll have lifetime access to that. But if you're here live, I'm super excited. Grab your notebook if you want to take notes. And then if not, we can just process it together. So today is definitely workshopy vibes with it being mindset. I'm going to give you my point of view with the mindset things that I worked through. What I invite you to consider is just because there is a mindset lesson that I went through, it does not mean you have to embody that. It does not mean you have to latch onto that or that you even have to work through it. Just come at this with the point of awareness of, does this resonate with me in this moment? Okay, no, but maybe it's something to keep in the back of my mind at a different level later on. Or, oh, yeah, nope, I didn't even realize that was something I'm holding on to, and that's definitely landing. So, a lot of the times, things such as like mindset
Clubhouse.
shifting, getting rid of limiting beliefs, it can definitely like stir up some feelings. So just give yourself some grace today and come at it with an open mind for our mindset. So I'm going to look at comments here. I'll share my screen. I'm excited. I'm feeling fired up because yesterday was so good. Yay, we're excited too. So much to process, but I felt invigorated and inspired. Ooh, I love it. I feel great after day one. It was a great way to reevaluate my year, what has been working, what I should let go of. This right here, I've never done like a cheat codes type of situation before. Basically, well, publicly, I do like my own year in review. And I was like, why am I not sharing this? Because I know that if I went through it, somebody else is navigating that, or they will be eventually. So, what we're going to do today is same style, same situation. Let's just present here and go through what I went through. Also put a lens on what is most important to wrap up for the end of the year. That too, I feel like with social media, our industry specifically, and you'll see how I navigated this, we like to grasp on to what other people are worrying about, focusing on, etc. When, like I said yesterday, it may not even be applicable to our business. So, really focusing on you, yourself, and your business and what you can do right now to set you up for 2024. So, let's dive in. I'm going to let everybody in here. People are so coming in. Perfect. Okay. Day two is mindset. All of the shifts that I had to make mentally, emotionally, internally to get through and to excel in 2023 because it was a different year. Like there's no sugarcoating it. It was different. I've had to do different things strategically and mindset wise that I haven't had to do in the past. And I'm not new to the boudoir world. So it was a shift. But let's get into basically picking up where we off left off yesterday. Remember how I said I switched to all online booking and I said now this is not me telling you to go switch your business to online booking because that won't work if you're just doing it because I did it for mine. The online booking switch for me was more of a mental mindset basically battle that I had to get through. It wasn't the physical switch that changed the game. Yes, because I had to change that strategically, but it was the belief that I had in myself to actually choose to anchor into clients that they could and they would book online. So, one of the main things that I was like butting up against, and this is something I have been looking at for 2 years. So, since 2021, when I went on maternity leave, I was like, I don't want to be doing phone consults while pregnant or, with a newborn. There was this belief that I was going to miss out on consultations when I was on maternity leave with Cece. And I did because I did not do online bookings. because I didn't have belief in my voice that I could convey what I wanted to via email. So I was living under this notion of I have to get them on a phone call to convince them to book. Does anybody resonate with that? Or has anybody been there? You feel like you have to do phone consultations so that you can explain all the things and not justify and not convince, but literally that's what it is. I was telling myself, I don't have to convince anybody to buy from me. They love me. No, but that's what I'm doing. That's what you're doing here. You don't believe in yourself enough. So you're spending all of your time on these consultations. And I'll tell you why. The difference is not it wasn't because phone calls work best for me because they did stress me out. I hate talking on the phone. Um, there's a reason like our Zooms are via Zoom, so I can see your faces and not just here's a recording of my voice. So I didn't believe in my voice. And okay, Heather says yes. The reason this is different is because I'm saying the same thing in email that I am on the phone. So it wasn't the notion of, oh, the phone helps me deliver it better. No, it's the same script, it's the same verbiage. It was, I don't believe in what I'm saying. So I had to really anchor into my script. And if you guys have calls that convert, it's what I use there in the email. And then the second part of this was the belief in the legacy that I've built. And what I mean by that is, again, I felt like I had to get them on the phone to show them who I was. That basically nobody was going to buy if they didn't get to hear my energy on the phone. Does that make sense? And the mindset shift, and I talk about this in Dominate, if you guys have done some of those modules, it's, oh my God, no, I'm not convincing them to buy on the phone. By the time somebody inquires with us, they've already made the decision that they want to do a session with you versus all of the other boudoir photographers because of our pre-education, because of how we show up in our content. So there is no pressure on the phone call or on the inquiry if we're talking online booking, because if we are doing our jobs, they should already have all of the information. If we are fully showing up as our true self, if we are fully delivering the information, if we are confident in our prices, so where we're not like hiding our pricing until the phone call, like I've never talked about my investment online, and then they'd get on a call with me, and it's like, surprise, we're thousands of dollars. That's sketchy. So let's look at the chat here. Love calls that converts, translate through text. That's what I use in my emails. I mean, you anchor, swoop, hug them. It's so easy. Needed that one. So this was a huge mindset shift of I believe in myself. And I know that sounds cliche, but if you truly believe in your pricing, if you truly believe in what you have to offer, then technically I should be able to convey that via email, right? And what happened, like I said yesterday, in May, I got 90 inquiries, and that just wasn't possible. I couldn't do 90 phone calls, and I wasn't going to hire it out. So it was the belief in the scalability of my business. So let me know if this resonates. Who here is clinging on to a belief that, like, okay, I have, 3 to 4 clients a month, and that feels comfy. And the big goal is like 8 clients a month, but you haven't seen it yet. So there wasn't the belief in that scalability. To me, I was waiting on the quote unquote proof before I took the leap. And the universe was like, girl, I'm trying to give you proof. I just gave you 90 applications on a model call. What are you doing? You're staying small by forcing yourself to do phone calls because that's what the industry told me I had to do. I was clinging to somebody else's rules, stipulations for their business, which is great if it worked for them, but it doesn't mean it had to work for me. Yep. Andrea says this is me. Yes. I leaned so hardly into other people's formats that I didn't even take into consideration what I needed to do. And that looks like, being on maternity leave or being a mom to a toddler. Like, I can't be on the phone for hours at a time. So you either get to hold on to this mindset of I have to do phone consultations and leave it at that, or you get to say, nope, it's time for an evolution. It's time to believe that people are going to book with me via online or not. So again, I'm not telling you to go do online bookings because it was important for me to grow the 6, 7 years that I did phone calls because it did give me what I needed to know. It taught me what I needed to pre-educate on. It taught me how I need to convey my pricing, and it taught me how I need to deliver it. Because had Kiara in 2018 tried to send an email that says, "Hey, here's my pricing. Here you go," I would have been ghosted and I wouldn't be here where I am today. So it did take the learning and the strategics of choosing to go through the shit of phone calls that I didn't like and choosing to grow through the anxiety. I can present myself well on a phone call now. It doesn't take me an hour to prepare, but I have the mindset ability to be like, okay, we've grown past that. So adaptability, I didn't write this on the notes, but I think this is important. Recognize where your business is adapting to the now. So who's having a moment of reflection right now where you realize you're outgrowing your business? Yeah, Ria's like, absolutely, everybody. Okay. I feel like a lot of us in this space, none of us are new newbies. You can have your first year in boudoir and still be in my world, but nobody is like, hey, how do I shoot in manual? What is Lightroom? What is Photoshop? We are more advanced than that. So you have the ability to say, oh my gosh, I've outgrown this layer of my business. And that's a huge part of the mindset shift that I went through in 2023 is it's going to look different. Who here, does anybody feel scared sometimes with change or when you have to change things that have worked? Yeah, me. Hi, I had a $300,000 studio for 3 years in a row, and you want me to change the way I book my clients? That's what my ego was telling me. Like, "Excuse me, ma'am, what are you doing? This is how you've built your business." And then it was like, "Okay, I'm going to lean into the stretchy. I'm going to lean into the differences because this is how I scale." Scaling your business means changing things up and it doesn't necessarily feel good all of the time, but we can grow through it. Me, but I thrive on change. Cassie, I'm the same way. I thrive on spontaneous action. Like we bought our house on our whim, we bought our car on a whim, but I feel like in my personal life, I met my husband on a random hookup night on Tinder and just like never left his house. We don't actually have a dating anniversary or anything. I just showed up one night and here we are. So spontaneous action is what I thrive on, but I feel like I was playing small in my business because of the safety of the structure I've created without being open to scale. So adaptability and loving the fact that or being okay with the fact that your business is going to look different now than it did when you started because I don't think we talk about that. Everybody teaches you how to get to your first 6 figures, how to grow your group, how to create a studio, but we're not talking about how it looks different over the years. So, that's stage 1 of mindset is it's going to change and it's going to look different, and that doesn't mean it's bad. All right, let's see. I love the randomness, but I also need structure. That's where I'm at. And that's where the strategy of the free flowingness combined with the structure of the work time. And I'll talk a lot about CEO energy today because that's something that really came to fruition this year versus who I was last year. It is. It's totally me, and it's how I was able to get where I am. So now I'm going to be spontaneous and random as we grow to 7 figures, and it's going to look different than how we got to our first, like, $100,000 year versus $900,000 year. Boom. Okay, so it looks completely different than when we first started. So, I know Andrea because I talked to her this morning. Andrea has now had a revelation. She's switching to online booking. She has her strategy figured out. She's done the things, but she realized it was her mindset of I hate doing calls, and her energy was negative when she would get on a call, so no wonder we weren't booking. Show of hands or drop it in the comments. Is anybody reevaluating their inquiry process now? Did this strike any inspiration or any chords. Joe says I hate doing calls. I also don't love my booking manager. So maybe we figure out a format for 2024 that revamps it and makes it easier on you. Yes, Kara did a revamp. I love it. I think I'm going to beef up my emails, but still do calls. There we go. So just finding the flows that work for you guys. I've been reevaluating my entire process, honestly. You know what? End of year, there's nothing like shaking shit up before the beginning of a new year. So we might as well rip the band aid off and do it now. All right. Posted yesterday about new policies. Amazing. I've done mine. I don't mind doing calls, but it's actually a struggle to get people to book them. So that's another thing that I went through a couple years ago is I had to implement a series of text that would basically confirm their call that I didn't used to have because people either weren't initially calling in the first place or they were blowing me off. So maybe we find a flow of okay, so here's an example. I do online booking now, but I require in-person consultations because I want that connection. I want that soul level. Like, I don't want you to just show up and take your naked pictures. Like, I need a connection before your shoot. But I found the same thing where people weren't wanting to get on the phone in the first place. So I do that afterwards. So maybe we look at a process where it gives you some connection, or maybe we do a Zoom call after they book in to get in to the vibes of like who they are versus, oh, this is just some random person booking online. I do a Zoom call a week before their session. Perfect. I think that helps just build the connection as well. Mindset shift number 2, 3, that was like a couple in one. Pay in fulls. There's a lot to this. So I'm going to read through my notes and then I'm going to dig in. All right. The industry told me, okay, I know I'm talking about the beliefs that the industry as a whole has. I feel like this was the year I really separated myself from what I consider what I grew up with because it's been like 8 or 9 years in this boudoir online community versus what I actually believed. So I had tools and things that helped me grow. And then again, it was this moment of I have outgrown this belief. This belief does no longer serves me. I don't need this anymore. We have been told that our clients needed a prepayment plan. They always needed a prepayment plan. I latched on to the belief that the last minute openings wouldn't fill because clients didn't have $3,000 laying around. I had this belief that I couldn't fill a last minute opening because my clients needed months and months and months and months in advance to pay. So I would lead with the prepayment plan. Does anybody feel like they have this belief about prepayment plans that, you know, I'm not gonna fill a last minute opening because maybe they can't pay, or I don't get $3,000 payments in full because my clients like to break it up. Has anybody felt that, been there, struggle with that? Yes, for sure. That was me trying to change it. So when somebody would inquire, I would lead with a prepayment plan and be like, yeah, so our most popular collection is the gem collection. It's $3,900. But don't worry, we can book you for December of 2092 and you can take 700 months to pay it off because I know it's so expensive. That is the energy that was radiating through me on consult calls and in my group sometimes. There's a difference between pre-educating your audience that you have prepayment plans available versus being confident and empowered and like knowing there's a difference also between knowing your worth and being comfortable speaking about your worth and your investment and not over pressuring people into a prepayment plan. Let's read the chat. Yes, yes. I think we all begin assuming things about buyers based on our own buying patterns and money blocks. Absolutely, which it's funny because I had the opposite. We buy things in full a lot because we'll like get an 18-month interest-free credit card and get the cash back or whatever, but I would rather pay in full because I love the dopamine hits of helping a small business owner. When we had our session in August, like we just paid in full and it was so fun and it was exciting and it was like, "Ooh." And for some reason, I considered myself the odd one. I was like, "Yeah, but nobody else is me." everybody else needs a prepayment plan because money mindset thing. People in my family, we grew up like lower middle class, didn't come from money, whatever. That's the stories that I held. And my family would say that. They would be like, "Yeah, but you guys just have it. So you can. Normal people can't just go out and like it was like a couch or something that we bought for the house. Normal people can't do that. They have to finance it." And all of a sudden that started bleeding into my business and I was reading all of the posts in the groups and I was like, I don't even offer people the chance to pay in full if they want. And it didn't click because I was just so used to my clients wanting to utilize a prepayment plan that I was pushing it on them. I've totally found the confidence in your prices allows for more full payments on the spot. Absolutely. People love to pay me. One of my mantras is people are delighted and joyful to pay me thousands of dollars. And then they do because they are so excited. So, who's got nervous energy about telling your group or telling your audience that your average sale is XYZ? Who still feels uncomfortable? Because here's the thing, we can say that we're confident in our pricing, but if we would feel squidgy going to our audience and saying our most popular collection is $2,800 today, or not today, but like if you were to make that post and that would make you shrink up, there's our warning sign that there's some money mindset stuff to go through. Me. Everybody's like, me. Yes, I feel that. I love paying in full if I can. It's like a little fairy because we know what it feels like. So guess what? Other people want to do that too. And then this year, I've uncovered that there's a huge amount of my clientele who just want to pay for it and not have to worry about it. And I had a client tell me that. I was like, oh, what a shift in perspective that is. My clients love to just pay in full, so they don't have to worry about the payments coming out. I'm actually doing them a service by giving them the opportunity to pay in full because it's one less stressor. And we always talk about how boudoir is this like escape from reality for people. We always talk about how it's a chance for them to let loose and focus on them. Well, let's let them pay in full and not have another bill to worry about. I was like, oh, that's a shift. I get a lot of you blow your money on XYZ, and I'm always like, I don't blow it. Family doesn't understand having money. And this right here, we get to separate our family beliefs, our ancestral money beliefs growing up. It's an ongoing thing. Every new level of income, I feel like there's a new level of money digging we get to go through, and it's fun. I'm okay with telling them about pricing. I just made a post about it. It felt great, but it also came to me that I don't believe they will pay me or upgrade. Ooh, so here's another one. We actually had the chance, Caleb and I worked through one of our Dominate students came to the wisdom workshop and she said at the bonfire, she was like, oh, I don't get upgrades because I require prepayment plans. We were like, what? She's like, yeah, people don't upgrade because they do a prepayment plan. I said, all of our people pretty much do a prepayment plan, and then we almost always get an upgrade. And it's the shift of they love to pay us again and again and again. Just because they prepay doesn't mean they're capped. Just because they prepay doesn't mean that they're not going to spend more. So who's been embodying that belief where, well, if they prepay, then I'm not going to get paid the day of their session because they've already spent the money. Oh, I'm not gonna get an upgrade because they've already prepaid for their collection. This is another sneaky little mindset that we don't even realize is coming. Macy's like, yep, that's me. It's the, am I still open and willing to receive the day of their shoot? What mindset block is creeping in on session day? Do you believe that you can still upgrade them even though they've already prepaid for something? And I think we have to recognize, Andrea's like, all of these, me, no upgrade. Your prepayment plans are not locked in as final sale. And what I mean by that is they can still choose to spend more. So, what belief, what practice, what mantra can you start embodying to show yourself that my clients are delighted and joyful to spend dollars with me all of the time? My clients upgrade again and again and again. People love to pay me every time they see me. is a super fun one that I use this year because they'd pay me at their consult and they'd upgrade at their reveal. People love to pay me every time they see me. How fun is that to say? Implementing prepayment plans in 2024. I'm embodying upselling more art and knowing that they will love more than what they prepaid for. Absolutely. So, this was a massive shift this year, specifically this summer when we had that big model call and I started booking in more clients. I stopped leading with the prepayment plan because I stopped doing phone calls. So it was just simply in the email that prepayment plans are available, but it was just a normal sentence, just like all the other information. I wasn't over explaining myself. So what blew my mind is a couple of days after they've gotten their questionnaire and whatever, people are like, okay, can you send me an invoice for the taste collection? Yeah, that's $2,800. You just want to like pay that right now. And their session wasn't until like next June. They're like, yeah, let me get it out of the way. People have ways to pay. It's not our job to micromanage their money. So this year, what if people didn't need a prepayment plan? What if they paid in full? What if 2024 was the year that $3,000 payments were so normal to you? That yes, we love a celebration and we love a high cash day, but we can celebrate it being normal. So we've had the most pay in fulls ever this year. I think about 27 last time I counted people paid in full, which was super awesome. Super excited. Massively because I let go of the beliefs that people had to use a prepayment plan. It's simply an option, it's not the law. And I was basically acting like it's the law. Like, yes, they had to start the prepayment plan within 30 days of booking, but they could pay in full if they wanted, and it's just simply not something I was open to mindset-wise last year or the years before because it's not talked about. Everybody talks about how many people you've got on a prepayment plan, but or how they paid in full at the reveal for the upgrade, but not that people just will pay you $5,000 after booking in 3 days later because they're ready to pay for the collection. So who wants to embody that belief for 2024? Does that sound fun? We are open to receive more pay in fulls than ever before. Now, in conjunction with this, one of my private clients this summer, we had to work through the opposite. She had a little wiggle of everybody was going to pay in full. So then she wasn't going to receive any money, like any reoccurring income, because everybody kept paying in full. So there is a fine balance. We have to stay on top of our mindset and on top of those shadows of like, what am I energetically blocking right now? What is actually not true? I'm open to receive prepayment plans and I'm open to pay in full. So can you feel the fine balance of there is a mix? Okay. Which brings us into normalizing big money. Okay. How many of you, show of hands, drop a comment, is there a dollar amount or a client booked amount in your mind that just feels really inspiring? Like 5K months, 10K months, 50K months. Like you feel like that you would have just made it. It would feel just so nourishing to not have to worry about anything. Most people have that number or that many clients. Like if there were 8 clients on your calendar each month, you would feel supported and excited. Do we have that number in mind? You guys kind of feel into it, whether it be client or dollar amount? Yes, yes. 15 to 20K a month, $15,000 months. Amazing. All right. 15 a month, 20K, perfection. 20K. I love this. 6 to 8 clients a month, 15 a month, 10 to 15 month. Okay. Hello. Lots of people on the same page. So this year for me, my goal, not even goal, but the number that I've had in my head for about 3 years now, 50K months. We've had our first 50K month was in 2021, okay? 4 to 6 clients booked. I feel secure as long as I'm over 10K. Amazing. So, I invite you to just mentally figure out where your thermostat is. Your money thermostat is like what you feel comfortable with. So a lot of you, it's going to be that 10 to 15 to 20K range, like we just saw in the comments. Now, We want to normalize the big money, and big is relative. So whatever that is to you. That means I had to get really comfortable with 50K months. In my head, I had put $50,000 on a pedestal. Okay. And in my head, it was like those Greek god porcelain pedestals or whatever with a spotlight shining down, and there was a 50K month. And I had hit it multiple times, never consistently. It was always a big income up and down, like a 50K month and then a 12K month and a $53 or $53,000 month and then like a 20, and it was up and down, few and far between. I put it on a pedestal. So if my goal was $50,000 months, I would freak out. We were celebrating, we'd have an adrenaline surge each time it happened, and, like, my nervous system would freak out, and it would be like, "What? We did it! This is so rare! This is so rare! We hit 50K, like, oh my gosh." That was not sustainable. So how do you guys envision that amount? That big dream, would you freak out? There's a difference between celebrating and sending your nervous system into a panic, and what I realized this year is I had to feel into what $50,000 would feel like. Why was it so unbelievable to me? Why was it so like, "Whoa?" And I realized it wasn't. It was not the money itself. It was the emotion that I had built up around the goal that made me feel like it wasn't sustainable. So what helped the mindset around that? Breath work. I do breath work like 3 to 5 times a week. Help me get out of my head and into my body. Whatever modality feels really good to you to balance your nervous system, highly recommend finding whatever it is for you to ground and recenter, because if not, we are just spinning these goals out here in the middle of the universe. I want a 10K month, I want a 50K month, but the universe is like, girlfriend, you are going to freak out and self sabotage if I give you a $20,000 month right now. Okay? Because here's what I was telling myself. Here's the mindset behind it. I kept proving to myself that it was a fluke. Who has ever been here? Where you have a goal and then you're waiting for the next shoe to drop. So then you're like, see, I told you it was a fluke. It's not sustainable. You don't have normal $50,000 months. You don't have normal $50,000 months. Something bad just happened. You got to pay taxes now. The tire went out. Your AC went out. Guided breath work around this mindset. Alessandra Caprice, I'll put her name in the group, has been a saving grace. Let's see. Oh my goodness. So she was my mentor. She's who I apprenticed under for breathwork. There's lots. There's lots. You can look it up on YouTube, but she focuses on, well, she trademarked business money breathwork. It's amazing. It's specifically for entrepreneurs normalizing $50,000 months. I worked with her privately for 9 months in 2021 or 2022, and then this year I'm in her basically her version of Dominate with breathwork, and it's been amazing. And that's something that helped me recognize that I was believing that things were a fluke. And then the mindset shift was, here we are asking for magic, asking for miracles, and the universe is giving us a moment of magic or a moment of miracle and surprise money. And we're saying, oh, well, it's a fluke. That's what we're asking for. What if a fluke is the magic? And a fluke doesn't mean it's a one-time thing, but it just means that we get to continuously be surprised. So can we reframe the belief that this good month, this successful month, isn't a one-time deal? It's exactly what we're asking for. So is it a fluke the way it came in? Probably, but we'll get a different fluke the next month. We'll get a different fluke this month. You'll get a client who wants to pay 2,000 this month and then a client that upgrades 3,000 the next month. So the fluke is not random. It's exactly what we've been asking for. It's literally our manifestation that we have been journaling on, meditating on, breath working about, affirmationing ourselves over and over again of I am open to receive $10,000 months. Universe, surprise me. Goddess, drop it in. Let me see how much money can surprise me. And then when it happens, we're like, yeah, but it won't happen again. So that was a massive mindset shift for me of normalizing the big money that it can be normal. The fluke thing, I surpassed my goals by a lot this year. I'm so happy. But the thought that came through my mind is, what if I can't do it again this year? I'll feel so shitty. I'm so glad you're live to ask this. This is something that I went through too of, okay, so, and this is what happened in 2021. It was like a 50K month. It's like, what if I can't do it again? What if I have a lower income month next year? And I would look at, oh, bullet point here, I wrote it. Understanding why the money is coming in, the consistency. So I'm a big believer in, it's not our job to figure out the how. It is not our job to say, I'm going to get this many boudoir clients, I'm going to get this many family sessions. It's not our job to figure out the how, but it is our job to understand the why. And understanding the why, so our ego's job is to keep us safe, and our brain loves like data and research and logic. So if we can understand why the money is coming in, we get to give and settle our ego with the logic. So the why would look like going through your systems this year and saying, why did I book this many clients versus last year? Oh, I doubled down on my content. I started speaking completely differently to my soulmate clients and attracting people who were willing and ready to book in. Of course, that makes sense. Oh, I shifted my schedule. So now I have a more consistent schedule and showing up to my audience. So it only makes sense that more people were able to connect with me because I was showing up more consistently. An example of understanding the why I was making so much more money this year was, oh, no shit, Kira, your visibility grew massively. Instead of staying small and just doing the bare minimum in terms of marketing, I doubled down. I was marketing every single day. I showed up in stories on Instagram every single day this year except for 5 days. 3 of those were during the funeral and the grief process in March. Even if it was to just pop in and say, hey, we're taking a mental health day, I'm not on social media today, it was connecting with my audience. So, understanding why the money was coming in the first place and giving yourself the logic. So, this is what I would do in December. I would go through your guys' sales and I would go through your clients and say, where did this client come from? Basically, reverse engineer and kind of map out, why did my year look different this year versus the year before? And if it's the flukes, okay, our whole year was not a fluke. There was strategy involved. But if you do find some flukes where you're like, I don't even know where this client came from, you get to say, okay, thank you, universe. I'm open to more magic. But I guarantee there is a trajectory of the work you've done that will give you that path to help ease the. It's kind of like the belief of, we're afraid if we make all of this money 1 month and then we can't do it again, that eventually we'll run out of money and we'll run out of clients. Well, when we break it down logically, you know how to get clients, right? We know how to market. So why would I just magically stop booking? We know how to pivot. We all took momentum. We know how to shift. So you get to ease your ego while you're trying to normalize big months. You get to ease your ego and say, okay, and if I can't do it again, that's not an option. There are months where once you normalize big money months, your thermostat raises too. So for me, $50,000 is a low month now. Not low as in I'm sad, but low as like, okay, I'm grateful, but I know this is on the lower end. So like you will raise as you grow. And that looks like being okay. So I had a $10,000 month. I'm ready to push again. I'm ready to shatter that glass ceiling. And it goes through facing the fear. The fear is, okay, I'm afraid I'm never going to book another client or do another dollar. So what would happen? Let's face the fear. What would happen if we don't hit that goal again? Well, then we're going to readjust and we're going to look and see what we can change. We're never going to sit at rock bottom. And I think that's the easiest way to ease your mindset is we want to normalize these big money months. And sometimes that looks like digging into the uncomfortable bits and processing through it and being like, "Okay, it's not that scary." I'm gonna read comments. Ria, isn't that different? That mindset of a fluke of like, "Okay, it's literally everything I'm asking for. Nothing tragic or bad has to happen. I just get to continue asking for more magic." So when I could logically map out the how and why, it totally eased my brain and anchored into the deserving of it now. So I know that I'm deserving of money. A lot of us in here know we're deserving of money. But do you believe that you are deserving of big money months right now? And I want you to think on that. Do you fully believe that you are deserving of these big money months now? Or does it feel future paced? Does it feel like you have to do something or earn it or work hard for this pedestal number that we have been sitting on? Heather, I needed to hear all of this. Oh, so good. So, what I recognized, I knew that $100,000 month was coming because I had continuously surrounded myself with entrepreneurs who were doing it. I was investing, I was compounding the consistency, I was doing the things, but it didn't click until literally last month that, okay, why couldn't I just do that now? And I broke down all of the nasty beliefs that were like, "Oh, well, you're going to burn out and not have any time with Cece." Wrong. That's not it because I'm doing business my own way now. I only shoot twice a week because of my schedule. I'm done by 1 o'clock. There's absolutely no way for me to burn out because I have set my schedule up to support $100,000 month without the negative aspects that I used to cling on to. So asking yourselves, and this could be something you journal on or breath work on later, is do you fully believe that you're deserving of it now? Or do you feel like it's something in the future? Maybe that's what my holdup is. I don't believe I deserve the big money now. It feels very future oriented, like I need to do something first. Lexi, I wasn't going to call you out, but yes, this is exactly what I was thinking of is you do all of the work all summer long. You've implemented, you've done the refinement, and now it's just getting that mindset of I don't have to wait on anything. It can be yours right now. And it really is an energetic shift of like, I'm doing all of this work right now because I'm ready. I've taken the steps. I've done the business building. I've done the healing. I'm open and ready to receive now. And it could be as simple as affirming to yourself with the word now at the end of your journaling mindset. So my clients are delighted and joyful to pay me thousands of dollars now instead of leaving it open ended. So that's one of my favorite mindset things as well is figuring out if you're future pacing or if you're sitting in this in between. I'm anchoring into having big money months without burnout because burnout has often led to me doing a full pendulum swing. This is where yesterday's strategy on the scheduling paired with the mindset of normalizing the big money and not causing my nervous system to freak out. That's what helped soar me this year was really pairing the schedule to prevent the burnout with the big dreams. I was feeling like I deserved it, and once I hit 20,000 a couple times, I started self-sabotaging. Ooh, okay, Heather. A couple months ago, I did a workshop on self-sabotaging. It's called Silly Little Self-Sabotage. I will upload that into actually, I think it's already in the Dominate modules. If you go watch that, there's an entire one of these on yes, thank you, Cassie, silly little self-sabotage, and it will help you nip that in the bud and walk yourself through that because that's so common is, "I'm gonna hit my goal, and then I'm gonna self-sabotage and blow it all up." So, highly recommend that if you have any time over Christmas break. Yes, I need the schedule for sure to help this. So, mindset. Again, money mindset. If any of you are from the very beginning of my mentorship days, I used to label myself as a money frequency specialist, and all I taught on was money mindset. And then I realized that was a safety net, and I was just too afraid to disrupt the boudoir industry and claim myself as like a content marketing like genius that I am. So I was like, I'm gonna hide behind a money mindset coach. I don't specialize in boudoir. No, bitch, don't like own your business. But there are so many money mindset modules, resources, specialties inside of Dominate that you can dig into with that because this was my jam. I love this stuff. Okay. The algorithm. Who has some mindset beliefs around the algorithm? Good, bad? Because I dug into this year. All right. Algorithm is wacky. We can all agree. It's not in favor of us, right? No, it's not. It doesn't like us. It hasn't liked us. And that's what everybody on Facebook and Instagram will tell you. The algorithm hates artists. It does. It really does. So there's no point in sugarcoating it. So how I got past this was 3 different things. The mindset around the algorithm. I'm really glad it happened to 2023 Kiera and not 2015 Kiera because I did not have the self-belief that I do now. I got curious. So what I did is I started testing the waters and figuring out what resonated with my Facebook people versus what resonated with my Instagram people. And I got curious on what posts performed better. Do I like making reels? No. Is it a great engagement hack when I need something? Absolutely. I'm time lapsing myself recording this workshop right now. You bet your butt it's going to be a reel later. Not because I have an infatuation with reels, but because I know how to hack the algorithm. So, shifting with when I started the Instagram in like what, 2016, did we have to make reels? No. But am I going to sit here and complain about it? Or am I going to use it to my advantage and just freaking do it? I'm just going to do it. So I got curious. I played around. I actually do enjoy reels a little bit now. I time lapse Caleb shooting me yesterday and then paired it with some finished images. You get to do things your own way. You don't have to do the crazy TikTok dances if you want. If you do, that's amazing. But getting curious as to what works. You know what else that goes with? I didn't ooh, this is a little bit of strategy, but also mindset. I let go of the belief that the schedule that used to work for my Facebook group had to work this time. I used to post at 6:30 a.m., 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m., and I would constantly look at the best times to post. And now I post when I feel it. Your message is most potent when you're in that moment. So instead of waiting until 8 p.m. when everybody's on their phone all the time now. There isn't a bad time to post because guess what? Last week, I told the Prox members this in Voxer. I said, you guys, I don't want you feeling disappointed about your Black Friday sale because I literally just saw somebody's post from November 24th and it was like December 4th. It was 10 days later. It just popped up in my newsfeed. So if we can reframe that the algorithm hates us into the algorithm loves to surprise us. Why? Because people are on their phones all of the time and I have no idea when they're going to see my post. So we could look at it as this is a shit show or this is where all of our magical flukes come in because of the algorithm. I ran a birthday model call like last week of November into the first week of December. Technically, I was going to close applications December 6th, but somebody emailed me last night about the birthday model call because she just saw it on Facebook. And she commented on the post and rebumped it, and I got 3 more applications. Okay? It was a joyous little surprise. I am going to reframe that the algorithm is out to get me into the algorithm loves to surprise me. Is it true? It's going to be true. It's my reality. Now, doesn't that feel much lighter on your nervous system versus it's not going to show anybody my stuff? It's going to squash me. Yeah, it is, but somebody's going to see it eventually somewhere, even if that means they go to your Instagram feed and they're just scrolling themselves down your feed. They're going to see something sometime. Joe says, I've been getting better. The other thing with the algorithm is my belief in offline marketing. I built my business from word of mouth, and I could do it again. Would it be different? Absolutely, but I'm not afraid of change anymore. I'm open to curiosity and I'm open to change, and I know how to offline market. That's all there is to it. I'm not putting all my eggs in social media. And I can lean into that mindset of, okay, I know how to host events. I know how to network. I know how to promote my business off of the internet. And I trust that I could do it again. But I'm not going to have to because the algorithm is working in my favor. It loves to surprise and delight me. So basically, what we're going to do with the algorithm, or what I did, is I faced the fears and I moved forward. So if I had to build over, if I had to do this, would it suck? Yeah, it's going to be very annoying, but I have ways to continue on. Nobody is in charge of my business but me. Nobody is as magnetic, as strong, as in control of their business as me. And that's what you guys get to say about your own businesses. So my magnetism is stronger than the algorithm. It's one of my favorite mantras for 2023. My magnetism is stronger than the algorithm. So constantly looking at like the reach or the insight, the negative parts was taking its toll. By reframing into, look at who did see it. Did our Facebook group used to get like 300 to 400 likes on a post in 2015? Yeah. I could post a spicy photo and get like 400 likes. Does it get like 32 now? Yes, it does. Because the algorithm has changed. And despite there being 8,000 women in there, the engagement does not look the same. But I want you to look at this. If 24 people liked your Instagram post, are we going to say, wow, only 24 people? Or are we going to say, oh my God, that's potentially 24 inquiries today? That's 24 people who connected with your message. I used the example 32 here. That would almost fill the remaining dates on my calendar. Just from that one post, 32 people interacted with it. I think relevancy in numbers is so important because we get so caught up in the algorithm of like only 16 people liked it. If 16 people reached out to you today, we would be freaking delighted, right? And I think really shifting into, okay, I'm actually so grateful for the people interacting with my audience. And this is something that I talked about in that free social media guide that I sent out last week is anytime I go to post, I envision it in this like warm golden light of Kiara energy, and only my soulmate clients and you guys who love me and everybody else who's going to book with me in the future are reading it. Everybody else, I don't care. They don't see it. I'm not writing for them. I'm not filtering myself for them. My mindset around the algorithm is so nourishing and so exciting now because it's my space. You get to connect with that. You get to save that. So, if we can readjust and reframe the numbers, the engagement into only 32 people liked it, if those 32 people reached out, we would be delighted. So, who feels like they're open and willing, or who wants to kind of change their mindset relationship with the algorithm next year? Has anybody struggled with that this year? I knew it was something that I was coming up against because it was something that was being talked about a lot in our world. And it's kind of where you just have to tough love yourself. If I'm going to sit in this and let it dwindle and let me get sad about marketing, or I'm going to compound and keep showing up and have more fun with it than I ever have. Yeah, struggling now, definitely. So maybe we can reframe and reshift. And I would create some new beliefs around the algorithm. I would really look at if it's something you even want to think about, and find something that gets excited about. Maybe you lean into offline marketing next year and you find different ways to motivate yourself and to market your business. All right, this is a fun one. And I want you guys to put these in the comments. The mindset shift for 2023 was I actually sat down and said, what do I want? What do I want? Which sounds so silly because shouldn't we be checking in on these all of the time? Yes and no. We should, but we get caught up in the marketing. We get caught up on the client emails. We get caught up on the shipping. So I took some time in April this year when we were doing all of this and I wrote down and I figured out what the heck do I want? Why do I want $50,000 months? What am I going to do with that? I wanted spaciousness in my calendar. I don't wanna be a workaholic. I used to be. I am a recovering workaholic. But my family has changed, my livelihood has changed, the dynamic. I am a wife, I am a mother now. I am not a 19-year-old workaholic who could just shoot 20 mini sessions in a day. No, thank you, never again. So I desire spaciousness. Everybody's out here talking about they want a booked out calendar. I want an open calendar. I want to make more money and impact more people than I ever have with the most free time to rest, nourish, relax. I want to read my books again. I used to love reading. I want to have so much money that we can open up the charity thing that we have been playing with for years and years and years, and also take a vacation and relax just because. I want to impact as many boudoir photographers as I can so that they can get out of the cycle of burnout and hustle and grind. So mapping out what the heck do you want and keeping it in your mindset. So let's see, let's touch into this. I've literally been asking myself that so much this year or this month. What do I want? That part. I had set all of these goals, like the new year, fresh start, but then but what do you want outside of the monetary goals? Why do you want that money? Why do I want this many clients? Oh, I don't know, because everybody else says they want 6 to 8 clients a month, so I guess that's what I should want too? And it's like, "Wait a minute. What are we doing here?" Or, here's the next thing, what do I want next year versus what I wanted this year? My 2024 desires have shifted since my 2023. And again, sometimes we don't give our business the space it deserves to grow. I want that. To be debt free, to travel and have as much leisure time as I want, to spend time with family and to not be stressed, to make an impact on my community. We have big plans to make in my area, to make on the school system. Just need the financial cushion to make it happen. Same. I want to be able to take family on vacations, take advantage of our homeschool schedule, build us a forever home. Can we see how when you put the desires into the desire, which sounds funny. Take your desires of what you want with that arbitrary number goal and give yourself the space to say, this is what I want, and this is how I'm going to achieve it. So, with the mindset of getting super clear on what you want, you get to take the strategy from yesterday to make it happen. It goes hand in hand. I want to travel and make more memories with my family. I love that. And here's another thing, like, we're all going through so many different seasons. My desires right now are going to change in a couple of years. And I say this all of the time in marketing posts of like, you can't have a successful business with just strategy. You can't have a successful business with just mindset. That's why it's a 2-day thing. They literally go hand in hand. I also want to be the first millionaire in my family. I got chills reading that. Okay, I love this. And what shifted me from 2022 to 2023 was I wanted to be a seven-figure business. And then I was like, "Okay, but why do I want $1,000,000?" I had not identified it. I was just simply clinging on to that goal because it sounded good. And I was like, "Well, no wonder the needle isn't moving because just simply wanting to be a seven-figure business is not the same as saying, when I'm a seven-figure business, I know that it's because I'm helping a minimum of 50 boudoir photographers a year, and the ripple effect on that and their clients, and then those people picturing the ripple effect was such a catalyst for me. This year was the year of bliss. It's as good and flowy. This coming year, I want abundance. Oh my gosh, can you imagine the bliss and the abundance? You can have blissful abundance together. Oh, I love this. We I resonate with the year of bliss. Caleb and I are launching for those who don't know, he is shooting the men's sessions at our studio now. In the beginning of next year, we're offering bliss sessions, which I shoot the female or one partner, and he shoots the other partner at the same time. And then we come together and shoot them as a couple. So they get like 3 sessions in one, and it's called the bliss experience because it's just fun and blissful, and it's them as their separate energies and then coming together. So I love that. I'm just excited. That's what that reminded me of. It was like, oh, I want abundance and peace. Yes, peace. How much brain space and anxiety can we melt away if we were sitting in peace because our mindset wasn't constantly going to the worst case scenario and we were simply going into the best case? So getting really clear on the impact of what I wanted for my calendar, what I wanted in terms of impact on my business, and what I wanted my financials to look like. Let me check the time here. Okay, we're doing good. This is massive, and I did not realize I was doing this. The pressure I was putting on my past clients. So, 2022, when my minimum was $4,800, I ran my business on past clients. I would say 70% of my income in my sessions last year were from past clients, which is amazing. That's incredible past client retention. But it created resentment and uncertainty in the beginning of this year. So the reason it was so easy for me to book clients last year that had come to me before was because they already knew the investment, so they weren't afraid of that 4,800 minimum. I mean, it makes sense, right? They've already done the thing, so they're like, "Sure, get me on a prepayment plan for 4,800." So then this year, when 2023 rolled around and most of my clients had already done their third, fourth, fifth shoot with me, I was basically like out of my pool of past clients. And when I would throw up a model call or a good deal this year in the beginning of the year, like prior to my lowering the minimum, I was like, why am I not getting any bookings? You guys love me. Why is nobody doing this? And I created this resentment and I created this uncertainty because I was clinging on to this like 3-year pool of past clients and I wasn't allowing myself to open up to creating new past clients. And I forgot that once upon a time those past clients were new clients. And it was up to me to welcome in and invite new people into my space. Carousel felt, yes, I have a weird money block around raising prices and then having past clients come back and being like, "Oh my god, they're going to go back out because I raised my prices." See, and that's a little tricky mindset thing that we have to be aware of. So, what I created was this weird tornado of I didn't believe I could book new people because of the investment, and I was secretly unsub or like subconsciously resenting my past clients because they weren't booking. So I didn't believe that I could book new clients, but I was also annoyed at the past clients when really what was happening is my visibility was growing and I was ready to welcome in a new wave of past clients. I had to shift myself into being okay with expanding my visibility. I was in this safety net of I've had the same couple thousand people in my world in my audience, and as I grow bigger, I have to be okay with letting new people in. So this was actually a visibility mindset shift. Does anybody feel like they're keeping themselves small because the fear of, oh, they don't know me, they don't know my process, they don't know my weirdness? Like the bigger I grow, the more woo I am, the more in touch with myself, the more like weird to quote unquote society I am. But like, look, it's working. It's attracting my soulmate clients. But there was a moment of, "Ooh, what if they don't like me?" And then this this goes into people pleasing and all the things, but that it's just the awareness of, am I blocking myself financially by not allowing new people in? Absolutely. So, when I recognized that, when I had the awareness, obviously my income grew because I was able to allow new people in, and that's how I strategically matched it. Your clients do love you, Kara. I see your name pop up in groups all of the time of other photographers in the industry, actually. I have never had a client question it. They keep coming back and again and again. Recovering people pleaser, absolutely. I was the good girl in school. I didn't make anybody mad. I feared authority. There's a whole thing. So now it's like, oh, okay, this is good. I can attract new people. I don't have to be afraid of letting new people into my world. And people still love to pay me thousands of dollars, not just the past clients. Or, for example, like Kara's situations, your people will continue to love paying you thousands of dollars because it only makes sense that as the years go on, your value increases. You have more education, you have more training, you have more impact, etc. Everybody raises their prices in business. CEO energy. I could talk months on just this topic. This was the year that I completely became a CEO, and I have a big long post for social media swirling around in my brain about this. So I'm going to riff it out with you guys right here. I am not just a photographer, and for so long I clung to being a photographer that I did not embody the CEO energy. We are quite literally running a company. Actually, that's how we file our taxes. I'm set up as a corporation. And I was not treating my business like a corporation. I was very much treating my business as a friend who takes pictures for other friends. When that's just not the case. It is my duty to show up with CEO energy, which means it can be uncomfortable. Sometimes there were some sticky moments of growth this year, but leaning into the notion that I am capable of navigating tricky situations. And what I mean by this, oh man, this is a lot. So, CEO energy is recognizing that I feel like entrepreneurs on social media, we have been given this like soft side. We're supposed to serve the customer, never offend, never do anything wrong, bend over backwards. We are the small businesses who are here to serve those clients. Yes, we are. And also, we deserve to be paid. We deserve to take a vacation. We deserve to separate ourselves from our business. It's like that viral post going around that's like, I saw my photographer at the movie theater and asked her when my gallery was going to be done editing. And it's like, I am a person outside my business. And really, what helped me differentiate that is CEO energy. That means making investments that I knew were going to catapult me forward. Was it scary? Absolutely. But I did it and it continued in my growth. It means having boundaries around clients that I would have let, walk all over me. This goes back to yesterday's strategy of implementing cancellation fees. Even though it felt really shitty for me to charge somebody, like they signed up for that and they wasted my time. It's not me being a mean person, it's me treating my business like a corporation because I am and I deserve that. And if I want to scale and if I want to perform at the impact that I deserve, it means we have to embody this energy, this duality of I am here to help women heal. I am here to help them on their journey of self love to be a stepping stone into their body acceptance journey. And also, I'm operating as a business, and you can hold that duality. Love the CEO energy. Yes. And the flip side of this, I had to embody CEO energy to get myself to sit down and work for the schedule that we created yesterday during strategy. So free flowy artistic photographer Kiera would have been like, I don't want to work today. I just want to like chill and let the universe give me clients when I knew that I had avoided work for 4 days. So it's finding the balance and it's being able to hold the duality of I'm a badass businesswoman and I'm a badass boudoir photographer, and they can coexist. And that's how I scale my business. So asking ourselves, are we fully operating at CEO energy, or are we treating it kind of like this soft little, I'm so lucky this is working out for me type of situation? I need breath work around this duality, especially during their reveals. Yes. Breathwork, again, has been something that's helped with the okay, actually, let's go to the next page because I talk about this. Authoritative doesn't equal bitchy, and that was something that I really had to get into during the reveals, during when somebody asked if they could have the shower scene bonus at the Lowe's collection. Well, no, actually, you can't. The shower scene's only available in our Indulge collection, but I can show you what a prepayment plan for the adult Indulge collection looks like that happened last night. I had somebody who wanted the Nudescape bonus, which is only available in Indulge, and she was only prepaying for the taste. That's a $2,000 difference. There's a reason that things are set up the way they are. And she knows this. It was in all the literature. She had seen it. It wasn't a surprise. Authoritative doesn't equal bitchy. Holding your policies, not giving in to the emotional manipulation that somehow society has really embodied somewhat this year. There was a woman who was like, I would rather not be photographed by somebody who thinks boudoir can be healing after a divorce, and I'd rather just pay the $500. And I was like, ma'am, people come to me after their divorce every single month, and it can be a very healing thing for them. But if you're going to be nasty, I don't want that energy in my space. So, has anybody felt uncomfortable around confrontation or being authoritative as the owner of your business outside of the sessions? Very rarely do I see a boudoir photographer like struggle with this in the shoot. Last night, hate confrontation. Oh crap, I just realized I've had this in my head and didn't even know it. Me. Um, what I noticed this year is I was being overly accommodating, friendly, emotional in my emails. So when somebody was like, I have to reschedule. I know it's my ninth time rescheduling. Instead of saying, "Oh, that's so unfortunately, I'm going to have to charge you a cancellation fee. I know it's really uncomfortable, and I'm sorry I have to charge you for this, but I just can't keep holding date." There's no need to say unfortunately. It's not unfortunate. They signed up for this. So assertive and authoritative language does not equal bitchy, and taking less of the emotional side of my emails are still not like corporate jargon. They're very nice, they're very caring, they're very empathetic, but I stopped apologizing for other people's problems because it's not mine. And it's not my business's fault. And it's not fair to all of my other clients who do follow the terms and conditions and who do follow their prepayment plans to let somebody else get away with something, basically. So authoritative doesn't equal bitchy or mean. And being bossy isn't a bad thing. There's a lot of deconditioning to do that I had to do to kind of reframe that in my mind. Anybody else feel like they hold on to that? Macy says, I've been embodying this week. Or kind of shedding the good girl persona, I guess is another way to look at this. I was very much a people-pleasing good girl, and I'm still a very nice, kind, empathetic person, but I know how to enforce boundaries, and that was huge. Saying sorry or unfortunately is something I've been doing my best to cut back out this past year. Exactly. And specifically in our email communication, because it can also operate as a free pass for somebody to walk all over us. So that was huge. And then our last slide of the day, I stopped searching for something to heal. And this can be controversial. Lexi's face. What I mean, I do healing work all of the time. I'm constantly on a journey, like, to shift through the shadows when they arise. But last year, 2022, it's like I was digging for something to obsess over. I was looking for something wrong. And I read a quote one time that was like, We did not come to life to just be miserable and live in the shadows. We are also here to experience joy in this soulful, nourishing moment. So, yes, my purpose is not healing. I am here, yes, to help break ancestral change and to help set up my daughter's life for a better future and to better my business so that I can impact other people, but I stopped searching for something to heal. If it comes up organically for me, absolutely. If I get an intuitive hit, absolutely. But I was signing up for self-development classes, for shadow work masterminds. I was journaling for hours at a time in the middle of the night because I suddenly had an off day, when sometimes it can just be an off day. We can just have a bad day sometimes, and it doesn't mean that there is a subconscious cycle that we need to break. It can simply mean that we haven't drank enough water, we didn't get outside and ground in the sun, and we're just tired. And I think this was one of the biggest mindset shifts is I'm deserving of the success now, and there doesn't always have to be something wrong with me, because there will always be something that we can better. But it doesn't mean I have to stop my success and pause the growth. And I think that's huge. I don't have to pause my success to dig into the shadows. I can heal my shadows while still being super successful. And I was only grabbing onto one part of that in 2022, which was digging into the shadows, and my income stalled because I let it control my life. So let me see. I can relate to this so much. It's from her I See Me Mantras album. It's so much more than that versus song. There's a TikTok that resonated with me. It said, "Did you have a bad day, or did you let your emotions run rampant and control your day?" This, and how many times, Prox, people have we said, "Oh my gosh, nothing's working, my business isn't working." I'm like, "Have you had any protein today? Did you go outside? Have you drank any water? Come back to me in 3 hours after you've had a meal, took a shower, and gotten some sunshine." And then suddenly we have some clarity. Okay, tapping into our intuition and what we know and filling our own cups, as cheesy as it sounds, like giving yourself your basic necessities instead of jumping straight into your business first thing in the morning, game changer. I was doing readings every single day for myself and would go down the rabbit hole with self help podcasts, focusing on what needed to be fixed instead of just living and taking action. Exactly. So when I could differentiate the difference between this is a mindset problem, it does need my attention versus, okay, I'm feeding off the energy of everybody else in my house right now. If my partner's having a bad day, if my toddler's cranky, does my business really suck or do I just need a nap? That was a game changer. And if you guys can have the emotional intelligence and the discernment to recognize, is this something deeper, or am I just giving in to the easy way out? And the easy way out is to say, "Oh, nothing's working. The algorithm hates me. My business sucks." Versus doing the work of like, "Okay, no, let's go take a shower. Let's get outside. Let's move my body." Moving my body is something for me that really helps clear my energy. Need to start being instead of always doing this. And the answer truly is a nap every time. I believe in that. Sleep really, really helps me. Sleep and water. As I drink my venti coffee again, I have water. Duality. There's both. Courtney just woke up from hers. So, mindset shifts of 2023 were massive, but they couldn't have been as impactful if I didn't match it with the strategy from yesterday. So, show of hands, who's feeling inspired? Who's feeling reinvigorated? And I know this was a lot to digest. I threw a lot at you guys. That's why you have the replay forever. But you can use this as a map now to go through your strategies. What policies do you want to put in place? What do you want to shift? And then also pair it with the mindset beliefs to enforce those. So, for example, if we change our cancellation fees, do we have the authoritative mindset belief to say, okay, yes, if I do have to change this policy or if I do have to charge this cancellation, it doesn't make me a bitch. It just makes me a business owner. And lean into some of that like corporate 9 to 5 energy when you need to give yourself some structure. We want to scale our businesses, but we want to do so in a nourishing way. I'm gonna read these. Yay. Feeling good. Honestly, I'm so fucking grateful I found you. I know I've said it a million times, but I'm so grateful. Tell me, right? I'm so grateful for you guys. This is so fun for me. Caleb told me yesterday I came home, I was at the studio, and he was like, "Oh, was your workshop good?" And I was like, "Yeah, did you watch it?" He was like, "Oh, no. I can just tell you're in your, like, bad bitch energy right now, like, vibing when you walk through the door." I'm like, "Yes, I love being with them." Ooh, Cassie, I would love to have you in Dominate, that's amazing. If any of you guys are interested in Dominate, you can take what you paid and apply it as a discount to this because cheat codes will go into Dominate. So just message me, I'll get you guys a code, if you want to go into that. Oh, Courtney, I love you, you're the best. We start January 8th. It's a 12-week program. Super excited for that. But you can use your cheat codes, registration, or whatever towards that. I can't wait to start. I'm excited. We're taking a little break for Christmas. You guys can go do your family stuff, and then we come back strong on the 8th. I'm so excited. But are there any questions before we pop off that anybody can think of? Revelations, breakthrough questions before we log off? This was amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here and for being here live. And those of you on the replay, we whipped this up fast. So I know some of you had sessions. Not really, just need to clean and process. This group will stay open. The Facebook group will stay open until tomorrow night, so on Friday. So if you guys want to rewatch or if you want to do some journaling or note taking and share your breakthroughs in the Facebook group with us, go for it. I will archive the group, which means we can't have any comments or anything, but you'll still be able to watch the replays and go through everything again. So that is all that I have. Thank you so freaking much. I'll send out an email today with the link to the group so you can start in your inbox and find it. And then with the little discount code, if you guys want to go into Dominate or Proxability has 3 spots left. That's just our high level mastermind. It's like a step above cheat code. Not a step above cheat codes, a step above Dominate. I gotta get off because I'm tripping over my words. But enjoy your Thursday. Tag me in the Facebook group if you need anything. Like I said, it'll stay open until Friday night, and I will see you guys around the internet. All right, bye.